Here's your news for February 26, 2020. We're starting off with some big news from WWE as the company has suspended Samoa Joe for his first violation of the wellness policy. The circumstances behind Joe's suspension are odd, as on February 3rd, WrestleVotes teased that this news was coming. But this report was denied by other sources, including PW Insider and Fightful. Shortly afterwards, WrestleVotes apologized for the report, and while this was going on, Joe was sidelined with a concussion. After returning for a match on February 10th, where he was pinned by Murphy following a Seth Rollins curb stomp, reports emerged of the former NXT champion suffering another concussion while filming a commercial. With this suspension, 2020 has definitely not been Joe's year, and given that he'll be out until at least March 25th, it'll be interesting to see what the role the Samoan Submission Machine has at WrestleMania 36. Before WrestleMania though, the WWE will host Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia, and they're bringing back a big name for the show. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that The Undertaker is flying over with the rest of the WWE crew, and this was followed by Wrestling Club tweeting a video of the dead man amongst many tired-looking stars arriving overseas. Meltzer stated that while Undertaker isn't booked or even advertised for a match at Super Showdown, the Phenom will be appearing to start his feud with AJ Styles. And while plans could change before WrestleMania, the current angle will see Styles face the dead man on April 5th. PW Insider also reported on the dead man's impending return, saying, "The Undertaker is slated for the 3/9 Raw taping to start the build for his WrestleMania 36 match. Given that edition of Raw in Washington, D.C. will also feature the return of Edge, fans will have plenty of reasons to tune in, as it's clear that the road to WrestleMania is underway." More news from Saudi Arabia now, as during last year's Crown Jewel event, the WWE Superstar's plane remained stuck for an additional 24 hours. While a series of reasons have been claimed, ranging from mechanical failure to conflict between Vince McMahon and the Saudi Sports Authority, the Superstars were told that the company was looking into alternative means to get them there, including chartered flights and not taking the same airline. This apparently hasn't happened though, as while WWE told their superstars that they wouldn't be flying with Atlas Air after the fiasco last year, a tweet from WrestleVotes has revealed that the company is using Atlas Air once again. It's also been reported that the company has a backup plan just in case superstars can't make it back in time for Friday Night Smackdown, though we can't help but think that a repeat of last year's issues with Atlas Air could be avoided if they used a different airline. One star who isn't booked to appear is Charlotte Flair, but the Queen already has a big WrestleMania program coming up against Rhea Ripley. Aiming to capture her 11th Women's Championship in WWE, Flair was conspicuous by her absence on Raw this week, but there was a really good reason for it. It turns out that Flair's maternal grandfather passed away, and Charlotte commented on this loss, asking her grandfather to give a big hug to Reed, her brother, who sadly passed away in 2013. Given her loss, we don't blame Charlotte one bit for missing Raw, and we'd like to send our deepest condolences to her and her entire family at this sad time. Her fiancé Andrade was not with Flair, as he will appear at Super Showdown tomorrow night, and at this time, Flair's match against Bianca Belair on NXT is still on. While Flair is looking to capture her 11th Women's Championship at WrestleMania, one star who knows all about multiple title reigns is John Cena, who will be making his return to WWE this week. The 16-time world champion will be on this week's Smackdown from Boston, a city very close to Cena's heart and his hometown, as during Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer commented on the plans for Big Match John. He said, "Friday in Boston they're gonna do the Cena angle. It's been hinted to me, but it hasn't been said to me that that's what's going to happen. It would make sense because I don't anticipate John Cena doing a lot of TVs. So if they're gonna shoot the angle, it's gonna be Friday, but it won't be Elias because Elias is a babyface." It was previously reported that SmackDown's WrestleMania matches are up in the air, meaning fans will have to see what WWE has planned for Cena after the company reportedly scrapped his match against the Drifter. From one SmackDown match to another now, it's also been noted that WWE also has a spot on the WrestleMania card for Otis vs. Dolph Ziggler. The show-off recently stepped in between Otis's courting of Mandy Rose on SmackDown, and it looks like the WWE's resident heel will finally be getting his comeuppance on the biggest show of the year. Otis certainly has a lot of momentum right now, as fans have rallied behind the Heavy Machinery star's attempt to get with the Golden Goddess, and while it seems like Otis will finally get his revenge, the WWE probably isn't shy about breaking the babyface's heart on the grandest stage of all. We're looking at AEW news now, and though the Exalted One hasn't been revealed, there have been plenty of hints at who the Dark Order's secret leader might be. On Twitter, WWE Raw superstar Matt Hardy hinted that he will be making the jump to AEW when his current contract expires, as he posted a video online with the caption, "Dear Dr. RKO." Fans of anagrams will quickly notice that Dear Dr. RKO is an anagram of Dark Order, and Matt's wife Rebby teased her husband joining AEW even more, complimenting the fans on their word scramble skills. With AEW Revolution taking place on February 29th, it'll be interesting to see what happens, as Matt Hardy's contract with the WWE is up the next day on March 1st. While many people expect Hardy to leave, Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite Audio recently said that he believed Matt will remain in WWE, as there have reportedly been talks of him working in NXT as part of the negotiations. He said, "His contract is scheduled to be up on March 1st, which is this Sunday. A lot of people ask me what he's going to be doing. This is just my theory. I know that WWE has made a lot of overtures to him in the last couple of weeks. There's been some talk of him working in the NXT system somehow. My gut feeling is that Matt Hardy will probably stay." Johnson also commented that he hasn't heard, quote, "any real buzz about Hardy working for AEW, and it also doesn't look likely that the former tag team champion will sign with New Japan." Given his star power and legendary career, Matt could still make good money on the indies, but nowhere would offer him better money than signing another deal with WWE. Whatever happens, fans will have a better idea of what the future holds for Matt this time next week, as the only person who really knows what's happening is Hardy himself. We're heading back to Raw now, and the WWE tried to cover a lot before Super Showdown this Thursday, but the fans weren't interested in seeing what was going on. According to Showbuzz Daily, Raw's 3 hours brought an average of 2.21 million viewers, down considerably from last week's number of 2.43 million. Breaking this week's numbers down, Hour 1 saw 2.27 million fans tune in, which dropped to 2.24 million in Hour 2, before settling at 2.1 million for the final hour. And the show also scored a .62 rating in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. Not only was the week prior's Raw more viewed, earning 2.43 million viewers, but this was also up 100,000 viewers from the previous week, as the WWE continues to struggle with keeping viewers in recent years. On to the Hall of Fame now, and it looks like this year we'll finally see the induction of the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. The Bulldog, alongside JBL and Jushin Thunder Liger, have been reported to be joining the Bella Twins, Batista, and the NWO in this year's group. And while there has been no confirmation by WWE, there's been plenty of reports about Davey Boy Smith. His impending induction was first reported by Brad Shepard and later confirmed by Mike Johnson of the PW Insider, who also commented on who will be posthumously inducting the inaugural European champion. He said, "The word making the rounds at Raw tonight is that Bret Hart will be inducting Davey Boy Smith into the WWE Hall of Fame." The WWE's 2020 Hall of Fame class is certainly shaping up nicely, and while the company doesn't have much time to announce new inductions, they could do it at any time. We've got some news from WWE Network now, as Vince McMahon has said that the company is far enough in talks to sell streaming rights to certain events, that he expects an announcement to be made during this quarter. However, the idea that fans might have to venture to another service to watch WWE's big events isn't the only possible change, as the company has also teased implementing a premium tier as well. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that Canadian fans will need to dig a bit deeper into their pockets, as WWE has once again jacked up the price for those in the Great White North. He said, "On Canadian television, they had ads for WWE Network, and the ad said $14.99 is the price. It used to be $12.99, so they did a price raise in Canada. In the US, the network is still a bargain at $9.99, while the UK price of $9.99 in pounds converts to about $12.99 a month. The fact that WWE is hiking up the price for the United States neighbors in the North might be a sign that WWE is looking to alter the price for the American fans eventually, and possibly later put out a premium service worldwide. Speaking of the network, WWE recently released a new episode of its Ruthless Aggression show in which Triple H discussed Mark Jindrak, who was supposed to be an Evolution before being replaced by Batista. In a clip from the show, the Game acknowledged that he didn't want Jindrak on the team and even spoke to Vince McMahon about it. In the end, Jindrak did film promos for Evolution before being replaced by the Animal, and Jindrak himself commented on the clip on social media. In the tweet, the former superstar said it felt nice to have closure after so long, and though he understood why the COO didn't want him in the group, he also laid out the challenge to the Game for WrestleMania 36. It's good to see that Jindrak isn't bitter about being replaced, but we can't help but wonder just how different WWE and possibly even Marvel movies would have been if the Animal Batista had never gotten his big push in Evolution. And finally today we're ending with news from Raw as Angel Garza was called up to the Red Brand a few weeks back to replace the then-suspended Andrade, though it's unclear whether the United States Champion even took the test. Regardless, Andrade was suspended for 30 days without pay, and while Garza recently proposed to his fiancée inside a WWE NXT ring, the former Cruiserweight Champion is much more of a ladies' man on the Red Brand. During this week's show, Garza kissed Charlie Caruso's hand as a way to close out the backstage interview that Caruso probably didn't see coming. The WWE backstage interviewer didn't seem to mind the gesture though, as when she saw the clip online, she replied back with some heart eyes emojis. This reaction caught the attention of Zelina Vega, who's been working alongside Garza on Raw, who replied back with an animated gif of Zach Galifianakis applauding while using baby doll hands. We'll have to wait and see what happens next for Garza, as despite Andrade returning to WWE TV next week, he won't be going away, as the pair will compete in a tag match on next week's Raw against Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio.